Yeah, we're back in the building, correct?
We're back.
We're back in the building. Female bodybuilding channel growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, correct?
We're getting bigger. We're getting bigger.
We're getting bigger. That's why I got my winter jacket on, because we're getting bigger.
It's cold.
Anyway, it's cold. So it's good to have this season. It hasn't started, but there's some light in the tunnel, correct?
That's true. That's true. We have confirmed shows everywhere in the US, for example, and we have something special. The list is out.
So we have the world famous Wings of Strength ambassador list. Can you tell the audience what is the Wings of Strength ambassador, bro?
I will. No problem. The ambassador program was founded, I think, about 4 years ago. It's about sponsorship for female bodybuilders and physique athletes. It's founded from Jake Wood and Wings of Strength team, and it's about about to support the athletes a little bit. It's about the girls are invited to the Wings of Strength shows. There's they on the booths and entertain the crowd there and make some sell the merch, and so also they got fixed contracts. So they have they have a certain amount they get a year, so they get supported and they can calculate it with it. So it's like a sponsorship, but a special one, a really special one, and really good.
So it's for people that pay their flights and hotels and they get some extra money, and then they have to say they're going to compete maybe once or twice a year, whatever they, you know what I mean? So they get some value back from them, and they go to different booths and things like that to promote the brand, correct?
Yeah, right. Very good.
What's your favorite Wings of Strength ambassador booth you've been at in your entire life? You can only pick one.
Okay, this was, I think, 2018. It was in Germany, in Cologne, where at FIBO, big booth of Wings of Strength. 11 Wings of Strength athletes were there, inclusive Alina Popa. And this was the first time I meet Natalia Amazonka. And it was very great, and they made a really good show, and a lot of crowd were there, and they had a lot of attention.
What did you feel in your body when you met Amazonka for the first time, JB?
I was very excited because I only knew her from Instagram and Facebook and so on, and I saw that she's pretty such in the photos, and really impressive. Also, I met her husband, very nice guy, and we talked a lot about the bodybuilding scene, and it was really a good experience for me. Yeah. So
when I met Amazonka for the first time live, I couldn't stop staring, bro.
Yeah.
It was looking like a piece of art that was alive, correct?
Yeah, definitely. She is. She has a personality. She has an aura. She her outlook is really impressive.
And she's got the most epic quads ever seen
in the scene. Yeah.
Okay, let's go over Wings of Strength 2021 ambassador list. We're gonna see how much we know about women's bodybuilding without rehearsing, correct?
Yeah.
So these are all women bodybuilders. So that means there's a lot of these girls now that's switching classes to women's bodybuilding. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But we have we have some names we would wish we've seen. They've sent us some DMs and crying about it. It is what it is. And we have many new exciting girls, talents there. So I'm going to say the name. We're going to do this quick because we don't have 40 minutes because I know you want to listen to Mayla later. So Mayla Ash. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say the name. You're going to say 20 seconds. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
So on the list, we have Alicia Young.
Alicia Young, definitely worth the ambassador program. She's, Alicia Young, everybody knows that.
Then we have the future is now, Andrea Shaw, so I don't need to say anything. We know the queen. Did you see the guy trying to stir some beef with her? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Let's move past that.
Yeah.
Asha Adley.
Yeah, Asha Hadley. Good show in the New York Pro to win. It's very good. Yeah.
She didn't win New York Pro, but it was a good showing, yeah. She didn't compete. And yeah. That's Mayla, bro. That's Mayla. Come on now.
Sorry. Yeah.
Then we have Donna Salib.
Donna Salib, yeah, very impressive and very engaged in the sport, and also
The wrestler, correct?
The wrestler, yeah.
Yeah. Good ambassador for the sport there. Then we have something that's a little bit that was surprising, to say it. Now, Erika Dankova.
Erika Dankova, yeah, known as the
Slovakian fitness queen or Viking queen.
Yeah. She is very present in social media, so I think very.
But she's not a women's bodybuilder yet. Isn't she a? What is she? Is she a pro?
She's a physique competitor, but I don't know if she's pro. I don't know.
It's time to pack on the size, then, correct?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because she's. It's good to have the girls with a social media following there and get people excited, correct?
That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah, and she has it.
Heather Munson.
Heather Munson, yeah, also known, for the last 3 years, coming up from the physique class and from the figure class, made a very good improvements, and on Instagram, watch the legs.
I thought she was an amateur, bro. Isn't she an amateur?
Heather is pro.
Okay, I thought she was a heavyweight bodybuilder, amateur. Okay, Helen Davis, that's exciting.
Yeah, she's
nice and thick muscle there.
Yeah. And women's physique competitor.
So she's also making the switch, because all these girls are making the switch. There's no women's physique girls on this list anymore, bro.
I don't think so,
No. And then we have the Queen Hella Trevino. Obviously, we don't even have to say. Irene Anderson, our good friend.
Yeah.
Johnny Lakovsky, one of the best posters alive.
And posing coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Jessica Martin did fabulous in 2019, took 2020 off. Great physique.
Very great and very thick 3D muscles, and very good.
Then we have the European sensation. And look at your face when because we know who's coming up. It's Julia Fourie, huh?
Yeah. Our lady from Switzerland, yes. Well deserved the ambassadorship, and she's going to make this year very happening and switch to women's bodybuilding.
You see this thing I'm making like Michael Jackson. I think I'm Michael Jackson. You see it, correct?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, Julia Fourie, she applied to get this ambassador list, guys. You have to apply, and they decide. So. Yeah. She's switching to women's bodybuilding. Well, technically she hasn't competed as a pro yet. So, but still, and she's got the help of Brandon Ray.
Yeah,
who's one of the top? I would say top 2, maybe the best, top 3 prep coaches amongst for females in the world right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And they're packing on the size. And she's currently 230 pounds now in the off season.
Yeah,
and she's going to start her prep in April and to try to do the damage in America. Correct?
Yeah.
Because sadly, if you're from Europe and you win in Europe, they don't really care. But you got to do it in America, you know?
Yeah. And
the judges seem to...
And she likes to go back because she had made great experience at the Arnold's a few years ago.
The judges doesn't seem to like Europe that much, do they?
I don't think anything.
Well, we see it. Yeah. Anyway, Kim Buck, great athlete. She's a given, huh?
Yeah, no words. Yeah.
Christina Mendoza, I think the girl with the most Wings of Strength ambassador programs of all. I think she's this is her second year pro. She's already been ambassador, 24 times now?
Yeah, 24 times, 4 times.
So this is great news. Yeah. That's one of our favorites. So she's such a great representative. If you don't have her on the list, it's not really a list, correct?
And she does really good, great work. She's very engaged in that. So she's pretty hardworking at the booths and marketing.
Then we have Miss Olympia competitor and pro winner in 2020, LaDawn McDay, who still hasn't opened her own Instagram yet. She made the list.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she make an Instagram, JB?
I don't know.
No, but come on now.
Maybe she has.
If you're gonna be an ambassador, you need an Instagram, bro.
Yeah, but maybe she has to hide something, or she is too good. I don't know.
Oh, too good. Okay, then we have someone I know very little about, Ludmila Kokaluina from Russia.
Ludmila Kaukolina, yeah, I know her from amateur shows in different smaller federations. She was also competing at the World Championships of NAC 2015 or 16 or something. Made for me, good impression, but was not that conditioned. She was big, but not that conditioned. And then she took the time off, and now she's prepping very successfully in Russia. But competing.
So she's coming out of retirement because so I looked at the Instagram. There's some way to go there, but we hope she can make it, huh?
She will make it. She knows how to do it. Definitely.
Okay, good. Then we have Mayla Ash, obviously top four in the world, so it's not even a discussion there. Mona Porsaye, best poster of 2020, we could say. She won 2 awards for that.
Yeah, 2 awards.
Yeah. So, and Janine made 1. I think she won 1.
1. Yeah.
So Mona had 2.
Yeah.
From Iran there. Oh, then we have, well, who is our favorite? Who's AJ's favorite?
Yeah, Monique Jones.
Yes, we have Monique Jones. Well, Andrea Shaw is also my favorite. So Monique Jones and Hella Trevino too. So anyway, Monique Jones, of course. Hello. You can't have a bodybuilding list without having Monique Jones, can you?
No, definitely not. No.
It would be anything else would be foolishness. Then we have Natalia Kovaleva from Russia, moved to America, who we've had high hopes for in 2020. It didn't happen. Corona, whatnot, but this is going to be the year, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And she's also, I think, the 4th time ambassador, I think, or that time, yeah.
Then we have, obviously, Nikki Chartrand, great performer, consistent, always in the top at both rising. And what place Olympia? Was it 8th, 9th?
8th, 9th.
7th?
Yeah. Something like that.
I can't remember there, but she's...
so much.
And she's great aura and entertainment and everything. So she's a fantastic ambassador, huh?
Good for marketing, yeah.
Then we have an interesting girl who hasn't competed in a while, Pauline Nelson.
Yeah.
Talk us through a little bit. Who is Pauline Nelson?
Pauline Nelson is a long-time pro. She competed, not that much a year. Last time I didn't show her on any show. But she got a little bit famous because she posted training videos on Instagram with Kai Green.
Oh yeah.
And she's very good. She's not a smaller girl. She's very big and very strong in training.
And we prefer the big size. We are not so into the small girls that only talk about presentation, blah blah blah. No, we like them huge, and the bigger the better. Correct?
That's true. Yeah.
That's why we enjoy women's bodybuilding, and that's why if we was a judge, there will be a lot of different placings going around. Correct?
Yeah. We changed the rules.
Well, we got to go to the, I don't know how we're going to become judges and fix that because they're going to cry when we do it, correct?
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, they're not feminine, blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, we don't care about that, do we? No. Robin Hillis?
Yeah, definitely. Also a long-time competitor from Canada. Very good, and if you see the pictures from last time in 2018, very shredded and also massive. So
shredded yes.
Yeah. Good.
Then we have Sheena Olig. That means she's competed as women's physique and women's bodybuilding. That means she's making the switch to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, we talked to her coach recently. Yeah, and so she got the best way to women's bodybuilding, of course. Yeah.
Oh, and then we have someone really special and interesting. We have Shika Nguyen from Singapore. Huh? Stand out women's physique competitor in 2019.
Yeah.
Dominated Vancouver Pro where she beat what's the women bodybuilder former girl she beat there? The girl's done a lot of shows. The girl's is always in great. What's her name? That women's bodybuilder, and she went into women's physique.
Vancouver.
Red hairish.
Red hairish. I didn't remember. Shit.
She's. You don't remember? She got second, and everyone thought she was going to win.
I put it in.
We looked that up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sheikha Nguyen is making her return to women. No, you're making her debut this summer as a women's bodybuilder. And I talked to her, and she competed at 118
Yeah.
at Vancouver, and she's now currently 174 pounds. Ooh, yeah, lean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if she's 174 pounds, 50 or whatever she is, she's gonna. This is gonna be a little mass monster here now, huh?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, and she brings condition.
Yeah. So
then we have Silva Mata. She's from Europe, correct? Or Brazil?
Mata from Italy. Yeah. She's also a long-time pro, and she also did very good job promoting nutrition brand. A long time now. She's a representative of this brand. We don't tell it because we don't get sponsored. She's very good and a good choice for the program.
Why is not our good friend Mona there from Italy if they're choosing her instead? Why is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, Susanna Jacobs.
Yeah, she's good.
The blonde, big size, good, correct?
Yeah, she is now in a break. She got in between. She got a child and got married, and and now she's. I think when she's going to ambassador program, I think she will be going back on stage this year or next year.
Last two is Virginia Sanchez, our Romania winner. That's a given, of course. This is. Yeah. We're very sad she didn't know. She's qualified to the 2021 Olympia.
Yeah.
And we have last on the list, Tina Williams.
Tina Williams, yeah.
Come on, big back, black hair, married to Keith Williams. Come on. Okay, quick. Who is three girls that's missing? I put on some Backstreet Boys yesterday, and I cried to All I Have to Give, and I put off a candle because two of my girls weren't on the list.
Yeah, we have I would say Will Worth, and I think we would say it's Anastasia Korableva.
She's not on the list, sadly.
Yeah. I don't know who knows why. And we have also, I talked to her lately.
You need your phone to see who you come on. Are you getting old now, bro? What the F? Is that a Wings of Strength shirt you got there?
Yeah.
Let me see the logo. Oh yeah, you're repping the streets. Yeah. What size is that? A small or?
XL.
Really? You're using XL now? Whoa.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of delt workout then.
Yeah. Eating.
Really? Hey. Did you do the hand there? Hey. No. Yeah. Roshana Boswell,
yeah.
She wasn't there. Our Miss Olympia competitor there, huh?
Yeah.
And Amasonka, I don't think she's applied, and I don't know what's going on. She's not on the list. It's always sad when we don't see her. We don't know if she's competing, but each time we see a list with no Amasonka, our heart drops a little bit, correct?
Yeah. Heart is breaking. Yeah.
It is what it is. And obviously, Margie V is not on the list. No, but I'm just saying she's not on the list. And it's always sad that the in the top two is not on the list, but it's for whatever reasons. It's not up to us to.
Yeah, that's true.
And then last news before we go. Who made the switch to women's physique from women's bodybuilding today? Who was it?
Was it surprising news? But
not really, because we knew before, but we had to act surprised on Instagram to act like we didn't know.
We know, but I think for the most of the fans, Theresa Ivancik is going to women's physique. Yeah.
Theresa Ivancik is going to women's physique. Any thoughts?
I think for me personally, a good choice, because she will be fitting there very good, because the physique girls are getting more into this in-between size, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Because we have an ultimate, it's Natalia, and we have normal size, and we have Andrea for the optimum size, and yeah,
yeah.
and I think I think she thought about it, and Theresa will say, okay, yeah, maybe it's a type of training also to go there in physique class. Yeah.
So Theresa Ivancik, aka Miss Britney Spears lookalike, is coming to the women's physique to take out some heads, correct?
Yeah.
Where do you predict her in the Olympia? She's gonna make the Olympia. What placing? Are we winning it in the first try, or are we going in the top 10?
Definitely in the top 10, my perspective. For the win, I think she needs 1 year more.
Okay, guys, that's it for a little what's going on in the hood of women's bodybuilding. And stay tuned after this little break, because we are going to be joined by...
Mayla,
you say it.
Mayla
Ash. And we out. Welcome everyone back to the Female Bodybuilding channel. Today we have the top 4 bodybuilder in the entire world, Mayla Ash, in the building. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this station this time.
And first of all, your hair looks incredible today.
Yes, I have a protective hairstyle with as much training as I'm planning on doing this season. So I'm going with they're called river locks. So it's much easier to handle with all the sweating and the working and putting it up and moving around. So
how often well, it's hard. I have the braids thing, and it's a hassle when we train, with the sweating, and it's just it is what it is. Yeah.
There you go. It is what it is.
JB, what are you doing up there? What are you showing off your... Yeah. Oh, you got the ponytail up there, yeah?
Yeah.
Before we ask where you are, because we know where you are, congratulations of becoming the Wings of Strength ambassador. We just saw the list.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really excited about it. I'm just so it's really exciting.
Before we talk a little bit about Olympia and what's going to happen, you are in the UK now, correct?
Yes, I am. I've with all the craziness with the pandemic and things of that nature, and the craziness of trying to get to the Olympia because it was moved around so many times. I'm coming out. I've come out here to the UK to spend some time with some friends and just to get myself refocused and just zero in on what I need to do strategy wise to take things to the next level.
Were there any problems getting into the UK with all this British strain and all this going on?
Well, the thing is that for travel from the US, it's pretty much not that difficult. The only thing that's different now is that travel international in general, I had to get a COVID test and have the report available. So before I boarded and when I exited the flight and everything. And so having a COVID test report that shows that I was negative. And then on top of that, I was still required to quarantine for 10 days. So, but since all of the UK is on lockdown, that wasn't a big deal.
But do you have a gym there?
Yes, I do. I'm that's one of the requirements for me to travel is that if I'm going any place, I have to have access to a gym. And since it's on lockdown, my friends were so nice that they built a gym inside their house for me. So
that's when you become you're a real star now. So that's
right.
Wow, impressive. So first of all, hi Mayla, top 4 in the world, huh?
Yes, I'm it still hasn't. Well, I'm it's still unreal to me. It's so exciting to to hear people say it, and they're just you realize you're top 4 in the world, and I'm just yeah, I am. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
You won New York Pro with probably one of the most memorable wins in the women's bodybuilding season in 2020. That was we didn't see it coming in because of what happened as the physique competitor, but once we saw you on stage, it was lights out, as they say. Who got second there, by the way? Who got second?
Kim Buck. Kim Buck
Kim Buck.
got second place to me. And thank you very much for saying that. I do appreciate it, because it was a huge leap of faith for me to transition. There was a level of trepidation for me because of the idea that with the pandemic, there was no competition. So the idea of knowing exactly how big I was, I didn't really have a true gauge of that until I actually did that show, in the physique show. And then it was obvious, it was like, wow, I've really put on size here. But even then, I still didn't think I was going to be big enough to really do well until I was backstage at New York Pro. And then I knew that, I really had developed to a point that I was a bodybuilder. So I was really excited to be on stage with them.
And posing, Mayla, the difference between the women's physique posing and switching over to the women's bodybuilding posing. And you remember those Instagram pics, JB? I shared them for a week after New York Pro that I couldn't believe it. You remember those epic shots? Was there a lot of practicing going on for that?
Well, I'm just like, the thing is that there was a lot of practicing. I'm fortunate enough to believe not. I'm like, the posing from women's physique and women's bodybuilding isn't that vastly different. There's two more poses in women's bodybuilding, obviously, compared. It's the front lat spread and the back lat spread. But the biggest thing was trying to remember to keep my hands closed. I didn't realize how much work that was. We're so conditioned in women's, physique to keep them open, but to remember to close them and to recondition my mind to flex my biceps and triceps with them closed it was a totally different beast and everything, because I normally have like really long nails. So trying to figure out how to get my fit, clenched. But I'm like, outside of that, adjustment of the leg with the tricep pose and the side chest, which actually I prefer that look anyway. So it was more comfortable, but it was just that whole thing. I had 3 days to learn the two poses and to get my body to accept the changes. So on stage, everybody was like, well, why weren't you smiling? On stage, all I was going through, keep your hands closed, bring your leg in throughout the whole competition. So it was funny, but yeah, I'm like, I enjoy the bodybuilding poses more.
So then we saw the win. We like, wow, but no disrespect to Kim Buck, but we were waiting to see you against the girls we knew were going to be the top 3 and top 4.
Up. I can't.
Can you hear us? Hello?
No, I'm like, you kind of broke up right there.
Okay.
I missed you after no disrespect. So I'm assuming you were talking about my size.
No. We were talking about Kim Buck is a great athlete, but we were a little bit unsure at the time how you would look against Monique Jones and Helle Trevino and Irene Anderson. And so that's no disrespect to Kim Buck, but there's a little bit slight difference there, if you know. So you didn't do.
I totally understand. And actually, I was concerned. When I won New York. That was the first thing that I was explaining to JP. I was just like, I listened to the commentary of Alana and Linda, and they were talking about that I needed to put on at least 3 to 7 pounds of all over density. To make an impact and to look like I belong on that Olympia stage. And so, after the show, when I heard the commentary, I was like, JP, we need to get moving. I was like, this has got to be an ugly prep. I was just like, I said, but I need to make sure that I look like I belong and it's not a fluke. And so that was just the goal, is just putting on that extra density, that extra size. I couldn't put on as much as I wanted to, but my goal was that I need to put on enough that I look like I belong. I was a woman bodybuilder for the Olympia level. So, yeah.
Why didn't you do the Rising Phoenix? You didn't apply, or? I
didn't. Yeah, the invitation window actually closed in May.
Yeah.
So, I had missed it. I transitioned over in September. So it was like, everybody's like, well, why aren't you doing that? I was like, the invitation window closed. I said, I couldn't just be in it. So, and it was probably, in honesty, it was for the best. I'm like, because I wanted to take every possible second to make sure that I could really stand out on the Olympia stage. So I took that chance.
We come to the Olympia.
Mhm.
It's the return of women's bodybuilding. First of all, we were a little bit shocked with Iris Kyle. We thought she was going to do it. We didn't know what.
Yes.
Did you hear anything? What happened to her at all?
Well, the thing was, she actually made it to the athletic check-in. So she was at the athletic check-in. We all were excited, but all of us could tell that she was a little off. You could tell that it was more than just that typical, peak week, depleting kind of fatigue. She didn't seem herself. It's not like she's really chatty, but she's social. She's sociable to like the other sisters are still. And so she arrived a little late and she was really quiet and reserved. And even when she got up to, to finalize her check-in and everything, she was really slow moving. And so, we were just like, are you okay? And she was just like, I'm gonna be all right. And so, we were kind of hoping, but it was obvious that she was not at her best. But then she had an accident like a couple of weeks prior. And so that on top of, and you guys know how it is. I'm just like, peak week is one of the hardest things, so I think that's all that combined together. It was just, it's only so much that the body can take. So I think it just did her in. But yeah, it wasn't until 2 a.m. that she finally just said, I'm not going to be able to do it. So.
Well, and on to the show. Then we saw you, it was stacked lineup, all the best girls were there. Some of them had a little bit more size than you, but you couldn't tell because the presentation and your muscle bellies and your conditioning and the way you present your physique, and obviously we weren't there, but on screen you didn't look smaller than anyone. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean? Obviously, Margie and Monique and Irene are obviously a little bit bigger than everyone, but other than that, what were you thinking when you started to, you could tell you had great girls like Asha Adley and Rashana and those Nikki Chartran. When you started feeling I'm above them, and then you saw you were in with Andrea and Margie and Helle, what was going through your mind? Because then you were fight to win.
Well, I'm like, the thing is that after they called me out in the first call out.
Yes.
At first I was just excited to be in the first call out. That was my goal. It's just like, I came in and I was just like, I just want to look like that I belong. I want to make an impact. And so when they called me out in the first call out, and I was just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm in top 5. And then when they had me in top 4, and I was just like, I could possibly win. And that's what I think everybody in the top 4, that's what we were thinking. I need to pose my butt off. Because if I catch it at the right moment, in the right angle, in the right pose, all I need, is that perfect storm. And so that was the whole thing. But what happened for me is that in the excitement of trying to show that I belong and trying to just pretty much outpose, every time they moved me next to somebody, it was like, okay, they moved me next to Margie. So obviously my legs are not going to be bigger than hers. But I at least need to show that I have sizable legs. So it was just like trying to strategically pose based on where they moved us. That it got to a place that I was so focused on that I was forgetting some of the minor things. Like, opening up my back more, and then actually flexing my legs. There's certain shots where you see that my legs look comparable. And then there's other shots where my legs look small. And it was just, everybody was like, what happened? I was like, I forgot, I was like, I forgot to flare my legs and everything. But, fortunately, it was a blessing in the sense of by the finals and everything, I was finding my groove that, it could have went worse. I could have dropped to 5th. And so, I was happy where I was at, but I knew that I had made some minor errors because I spent time, which is a cardinal no-no, but I was so in my head about, coming back finals and finishing strong that I spent more time than I should practicing my posing instead of resting my legs and resting my body. And so, I didn't come back, in my opinion. I could have came back crisper, and I didn't feel like I did. And so the other competitors, they were on point, and they came back and they killed it, And so I felt like some of my inexperience caught up with me in that moment. But I was thankful. I'm still fourth in the world. The Olympia was my second bodybuilding show ever, so I can't complain.
JB, she second bodybuilding show, and she took out Irene and Monique Jones, huh?
Very impressive. Very impressive. I was positively shocked. So very good. So
thank you very much.
It was incredible because these girls are experienced, very experienced into this.
Yes.
And both girls, Irene was in the shape of her life, and
she looked phenomenal.
And Monique was looking great too. So this is quite very impressive. So after the Olympia, what went through your mind? Are we hungry now to win it next year? Are we happy just to be there, or what's the mindset now?
Oh no. I'm like, I don't think that you could ever come across any one of us that doesn't say that I want that title this year. I'm like, I want the title. I'm like, I wanted the title last year. I'm like, so the thing is that I'm going to pour everything I have into this prep to build up those areas that were deficient and to get into a full bodybuilding mode that in my mind, I'm not having that split personality of trying to remember that you're no longer physique. You got to do this. You got to remember that. I want to flow and just be pure bodybuilding like I used to be in women's physique, that I flow naturally and everything comes like it's second nature. And so that's my whole thing, is just working on that, and also working on my my posing endurance, because they worked us. They worked us. And I was telling some of my colleagues and some of the people that I speak to at seminars that I was just like, you really don't understand the intensity of posing until you reach that upper echelon level. I was like, because the amount of it really drains you, to be posing that hard and flexing for that long and over and over and over. And then when you're in the top, that they're bringing you back again and going around it again. So I'm going to be putting everything I have to strategically to bring a better package, a more better package than I did at this last Olympia, and make sure that I look like that I've been doing this just for as long as the other veterans, because I do. I want to be the best.
Because it's interesting now, because your physique is more similar to the winner, Andrea Shaw, than Helle and Margie V. So that's got to give you even more confidence that if Andrea is the look they rewarded in 2020, and you're closer to her look with the improvement, you're going to be really in the fight to win it next year, huh?
That's what I'm hoping. And I'm technically, AJ, I'm in a fight to win it this year.
Yeah, correct. That's correct. So this year, 2021, okay, guys?
Yes.
Are we doing Rising and then Olympia, or only Olympia?
No, actually, I'm planning on doing a show. I'm going to make sure I keep checking the site, because I want to make sure that I put in to request an invite for the Rising Phoenix. I want to do it this year. Obviously, I'm already qualified for the Olympia, but I'm planning on doing a show before that, because I still need. Well, the thing is that I feel like I need to get my my women's bodybuilding chops. I need to get that more fluidity, that more experience on stage and everything. And so I want to do another show to help get me comfortable, because I want to improve some of my posing, work on some of the other stuff, and then also see where my conditioning is at. So try to do something earlier in the year, not really early, but as soon as they schedule the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia, so I can make a better strategy, since it's still not scheduled yet. But do something that gives me enough time to see where my body is at conditioning wise and size wise, and then work on more improvements going into those last 2 shows.
So why don't you, women's bodybuilding is the biggest here in Europe. That's
Yeah.
where women's bodybuilding is most loved. So why don't you do a European show and show them how a champion's supposed to look like?
Well, here's the thing: is that's one of my plans. Is that I was looking at trying to do the show in Spain because it's in a good time period.
Yeah.
Yeah. The what is the Europa Pro? But
Europa Pro. It's in July.
Right. So is it in July? No.
Is it in July?
Yeah.
No, they've moved it. It's in August.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's
in
Portuguese
August.
show that's in July.
Yeah.
Yes, the Portuguese show is in July. The Europa Pro that's in Spain, that's in August. I think around the 15th or something like that.
Would that work for you?
Well, that would work for me. So, but the thing is that I'm trying to set it up that I have a primary show range area. So looking around that time period between late July and early September, right around that range, and almost do the same thing I did last year, is start getting ready for that time. Because my thing is this: even though I would love to do the show in Spain, if I can't get in. So if I can't get in, if I can't get in the country,
it would be really depressing prepping for a show when you're a top star and not get in. Yeah, that would be.
So that's the whole thing. So I'm looking at the schedule and I'm trying to find shows that are in various areas of the world that I can consider, and based on whether or not I can get in, that's the show. But I would really love to go overseas. I'm really hoping that that everything works well, that I could possibly do Romania, because I've always wanted to do that show. I've always wanted to do that show. I'm like, yes. So I'm hoping that lines up really well, that either I can get that done before, because that would be a nice show to ride the wave into the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia. I really do well when I do back-to-back shows, or immediately after the Olympia, so that I can just do it after that. But yeah,
I've heard.
What?
I've heard the Olympias in October.
See, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, if they do it in October, the thing is that they're rescheduling Chicago Pro.
Yeah.
And so since the Chicago Pro hasn't been formally, officially rescheduled, and since it's going to be a qualifier for the Olympia, they're not going to schedule the Olympia too close to one of the finals. So it's got to be at least 2 or 3 weeks after the final qualifying show. So right now, that's what I was telling people. I was like, worst case, earliest scenario is that the Olympia will be in October. But if it's in October, usually the Rising Phoenix is before that. So that means that it would have to be in late October, which means the Rising Phoenix would be early October. And that would work for me, because that means that I could do Toronto, or maybe the Spain show, or Savannah. Those are around that time period. And then ride that into the Rising Phoenix, do the Olympia, and then take a little time and go to Romania. So, but we'll see. I'm like, it's just going to see how it's going to decide. What's going to decide it is when they finalize the schedule, and then what actually lays out. Because my whole thing is that I want to do extremely well this season. And if that means that I need to do my warm-up show, so to speak, here in, the US, as in Tampa or Savannah, and then maybe travel out of the country after the Olympia, then that's what it is. But if I can get it to line up the way that I want to, I would love to do an international show before I go to, fingers crossed, Rising Phoenix, that I get an invite to that before, and then going into the Olympia. So we'll see.
If they don't give you an invite, who would they want to invite then? Come on, that would be. We got.
Well, you never know.
We got 3 questions.
Always crossed.
We got 3 fan questions here before we go. We got a question from Taylor. What's your most proudest moment in life?
In life, Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going to stick with bodybuilding.
Okay.
That will make it much easier and make it much faster answer. Obviously, the most proudest moments is getting fourth place at the Olympia. So it's undeniably one of the top moments, in my bodybuilding career. So outside of that, real quick, then would have to be getting my master's degree. So that was one of my proudest moments. Those two are my proudest moments, non-bodybuilding and bodybuilding.
We have a question from Dominic. Who is your favorite artist?
My favorite artist?
Music artist, I would
Oh,
imagine.
goodness. Okay. That's gonna be right now. It's India Ari. So
Okay.
I'm like, she does a lot of eclectic music that I really enjoy listening to, and so it's a lot of variety, and it's really it's inspiring music, and then it's just some fun music. So right now it's India Aria.
I'm gonna do more. Dwayne Johnson. Who has inspired you the most in life?
Who's inspired me the most in life?
Some tough questions here.
Well, I'm just like that. That would be my mom. I'm just like I'm like from the very beginning. I'm like, I was a really hyperactive child. So, she used to always tell me that, God doesn't make any mistakes. She was just like, your personality, how you are was meant for whatever God has destined you to do. So she was just always just like, don't apologize for who God created you to be. Just spend your life just trying to find your place, trying to find out who you were supposed to be and what you were supposed to do to pour back into this world and leave some kind of legacy. So, and no matter what I've done in my life, it's just, she's always been there. She's always supported me. Don't get me wrong, the rest of my family has also, and I have a huge family. So, but I'm like, she's always that Rhema word just when I needed it, when I was doing competitions, when I was in track and field and getting ready to go to a competition, even now in bodybuilding, there's always a little text message, you're phenomenal. Don't ever forget that, go do you. So it would be my mom.
With that, what's a beautiful way to end it? Will we see any training video when you're in the UK? There's a lot of other pros in the UK. You have where part in the UK are you? Like what part of England?
Oh, actually, I'm close to London. I'm actually in the Cambridge area. So yes.
Could we see a joint video with you or Samson Dowda or James Hollingshead or some of the top UK pros and you?
No. And the reason being is that we're on lockdown. So I can't go see them.
Oh no,
I can't train with them.
That's
so
true. That's true.
Trust me. I'm like, if I could, I'm like, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to go train with JP in Korea.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And so, that was one of my things. But I'm like, when I came here a couple of months ago, it was in lockdown, so I couldn't. And I was hoping that lockdown would have been lifted by the time, before I left here, but it doesn't look like it will. But I plan to come back again. So hopefully they will be out of lockdown that I would be able to not only train with JP and Korean, but some of the other pros that are here. So I'm like, that would be a real exciting thing to actually beast out in the gym with some of my European brothers and sisters of steel. So that would be exciting.
JP, I was in his gym last year with Phil Heath, and it was amazing. And Corinne is going to bring the conditioning. But I see we got 30 seconds left. Mayla, we don't want to say goodbye, but we have to. Mayla, thank you for your time.
You guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. It is such an honor and it's a privilege. So I appreciate it. I hope to be on the show again real soon.
Welcome everyone back to the Female Bodybuilding channel. And today we have breaking news. We got women's bodybuilding star Theresa Ivancik in the building. How are you, by the way?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
We are surviving in Corona times. That's
Yeah.
about it. So we had a major announcement from you about 2-3 days ago. Tell us more about it.
After the Olympia, I actually talked to about 4 of the judges that were judging that show, and I was told it's time. That who's going to tell me, who's going to help me make the switch. I am a female bodybuilding diehard at heart. I mean, this is where my roots were. This is where I came from. I tried my very hardest to come in, and obviously it works. I fit in with the girls, and I do that at the pro levels. Once I get to that top level with those top 5 girls, it's just they got 40 pounds of muscle on me. So it's really, really hard for me to put on 40 pounds of muscle to compete with that next level. So in order to do that, I have one dream left of mine, and that's to win the Olympia. And I feel that it's more achievable and attainable for me to do that in the women's physique division.
Okay. So how was your Olympia experience for you? Because we haven't talked since the Olympia on camera. How was your Olympia experience for you?
I had a blast there with the girls. Like, we're Iron Sisters, we all get along, we all had fun, we were just goofing off backstage. And I actually asked Irene Anderson right before we walked out on stage how much she weighs, and she weighed 187. And I was 149. I was like, this is kind of crazy. But I mean, the experience of overall, I got there. It was something that I've dreamed of doing, and my feet hit that Olympia stage where all the legends were from.
Did you feel out of place with them, or?
I can't say I felt out of place because I've won 2 pro shows, back to back, 19 and 20, and then I got 6th and 7th in the world in 19 and 20, so it's kind of sets the bracket to where you are at that time. And then when you hit the Olympia, you just got kicked the whole way down to the barrel of the bottom. So 2 weeks prior, you take 7th in the world out of 20 some girls, and then you take 14th place out of 15 people at the Olympia. So it's kind of like an eye opener. We're which way do I go? Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? And then after talking to a few other people, and I have not discussed this with many people, I have a back issue. I need fused. I have a 70-year-old back right now. So for me to put on 40 pounds of muscle, I literally health-wise couldn't do it. So I have to take a different avenue and then try to go down to women's physique and see what happens there.
So you really think you have to put on another 40 pounds to have a chance to win the Olympia? Really, that much?
I don't think I would need to do that much. I'm thinking maybe I'd have to come in at least 20 pounds heavier, and my off season right now, I'm only 10 pounds shy of my stage weight. So for me, I usually go up to 180. Now I'm only 160. But these girls are diced and shredded on stage, at 170, some 160. Iris Kyle was 153, 156.
I know. Yeah.
But it's just I think the density and maturity of the muscle, I would just need to make sure that pops in me becoming fuller if I wanted to stay in women's bodybuilding.
Well, JB, we were a little bit shocked. We obviously we knew this a little bit before, but so we have to act real shocked when she came with the news. It's a little bit because you're so popular in women's bodybuilding. You got such a different look, and all the fans love you, and you just won. Not only won, you also won and got Best Posing Award in the same show.
Yes.
So it's a little bit well onto women's physique. So what's the changes you will make now? Because women's physique is a different look. It's all about being shredded there, eh?
Yes, I was told not to change anything that I have going on right now. My size is perfectly fine. Bring the legs up, a little bit more to match, and then just bring in the conditioning. But again, physique, they don't want the striations and the veins and ridiculous cuts is what the protocol is asking for. So there's a fine line with what are they going to look for this year for the women's physique division. So I don't need to change a lot size-wise. I just need to make that balance and symmetry match and come in just tighter.
I agree on paper, but if you saw Sarah Willigas, she was the most shredded of them all.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's why she won.
Yep. I think I talked to somebody that was talking to Natalia, and she was told not to come in shredded this year. And she was very upset because she backed off of the conditioning part because that's what she was told. And then they went with Sarah, who was a lot more conditioned this year.
It's what can we say? It's something women's physique. It's very hard for athletes sometimes because when you get told to not come in shredded, and then you back off a little bit, and then the girl who's extremely shredded still wins. So it's okay. So when will your women's physique debut be then in 2021, Theresa?
I'm trying to do the Chicago Pro again. Since I did Chicago Pro as a women's bodybuilder last year, I'd like to come in and do the physique. I would definitely like to win, which would get me set into the Olympia for this year, since the date was just announced in Orlando for October 7th through 10th. So the main goal is win that, first pro show. I have Tampa set up as a second one as a backup, and then hopefully, like I said, the Olympia.
What dates are Chicago and Tampa again?
I think Chicago, it's been hit or miss. It's different on one of the IFBB Pro websites than somewhere else, but it has it like as of 7/23, and then Tampa is in August, so it's in the beginning or middle of August.
If the Arnold Classic, we still haven't gotten any words. I think it's I have no idea what's going on, but we have no information about Arnold Classic. We try to reach out to promoters, but no one's answered our emails. All the insiders, we really don't know anything. Do you know anything about Arnold or?
I had actually applied because this was the first year that I was actually going to be able to do the Arnold. There was a potential set date that I did hear that was going to be in September, but now I did get a response back from Bob, and he said to keep an eye out on the website because right now they're looking for a place to hold it, to have that whole experience with the expo. So I actually got no more response than the email I got from Bob saying just keep dibs, like keep tabs, look at the website, and let me know, because again, it is an invite only for athletes.
This COVID situation has really messed. It has really messed up the game. Oh man! Could you believe only last year when you got the news last year, Theresa, about this COVID thing? How long did you think it was going to last?
Not that long, because literally, if you think about it, next weekend's the Arnold. Like usually, you know what I mean? Like that's what's crazy. We're going on a year of being like expired. We're not allowed to go. But I literally thought it wasn't going to last that long. I mean, we're going in through a full year of this stuff already.
I say we go all in. We don't care about COVID, man. We just go all in because this is. But anyway, some other news. You got a new sponsor. You got so many sponsors now, Theresa. Tell us more about your new sponsors.
Okay, so Stage Ready Hair, I got hooked in with them, so they're going to be doing my hair and makeup for my next coming shows all this year. I work in with Gaspari now, so I am a sponsored athlete through them. I extended my sponsorship with Northern Chill. So I'm working with them as well, and there's some other ones that are in the back, bone and work. Talking to a guy that owns a company that's more of like the wellness nutrition side for like adrenal, blood support, like GI issues. So I'm going to be talking to him too, and there's just been a lot more different kind of opportunities.
The sound is messing up again, so we will leave it at that. Theresa, thank you very much for taking the time to come on and tell us more about why you made the switch. And we are really, 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 really excited to see you on stage, make the debut in women's physique.
Thank you. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what happens. So Stage Ready Hair,
and
I got hooked in with them.
So last thing, because the sound went off, came back on. So, no, that's it. That's it. That's really it. That's really it. Yo, last thing. We are going to talk quickly to one. Are you still prepping a girl called Keisha?
I am. Yep. She actually contacted me and said that you guys were going to be interviewing her. So she's really excited because I believe she said Thursday, maybe.
And tell us a little bit about her potential, because that's some impressive. Her back is that's a different look. Tell us a little bit more about her potential.
I worked with her for her first year, and we got, she won. And then the second show that we did together, we got the pro card. So now we're going to work on the debut. She's from Wisconsin. I saw her in person for the very first time last year. And I'm telling you, she's a big girl. She just checked in again with me today. She's weighing 186. So we've got, I think she's going to do Omaha, and she may be doing Chicago with me, but again, in the female bodybuilding division. But that girl, I mean, she's stacked. I mean, she's put together. She's head to toe. We're really trying to bring balance and symmetry and conditioning for her this year.
So the sound went off again. Well, Theresa, thank you for your time, and we can't wait to see you on stage.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Bye-bye.
Peter.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I worked with her for her first year, and we got she won. And then the second show that we did together, we got the pro card. So now we're going to work on the